Guys, we live in a society where it is now okay to honor criminals, to honor people who did drive-by shootings in their own communities, to honor people who are moving drugs, to honor people who put their kids in danger, who are resisting arrest. But oh man, if you happen to honor a police officer, apparently you are racist, according to some of these people. This is the society that we live in, guys. And I'm here to tell you, if you hate cops, then next time somebody breaks in your house, call a crackhead, because apparently that's what you want. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching a Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, share a Black Conservative Perspective, aka a liberal's worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at gforemanbcp. Let's get it. All right, guys. So watch this news video of a high school football team who was honoring a police officer who died unexpectedly last year. His son is on the football team. They were honoring him by flying the thin blue line flag during their entrances to football games. Watch this video on how the administrators have now banned this demonstration.
It has become a tradition for the Fletcher Senators bursting onto the field with a thin blue line flag. But that came to an end after last week's game when complaints and posts on social media surfaced. This one claims the team was racist.
And it's all about my son's love for his dad and his memory.
Lorie Lavender explains her son Caelan, a junior offensive lineman, started running with the flag in honor of his late father, Corporal Andy Lavender. He was a Jacksonville Beach police officer and active in sports programs. He passed away unexpectedly last year.
He was one of a kind, and he's very much missed and loved.
The flag has been controversial, associated with the Blue Lives Matter movement and sometimes used against Black Lives Matter demonstrators. Lorie Lavender says this was not political or racist in any way. But this week, Fletcher administrators made the decision to not allow the flag on the field at games anymore. It's a bad call, says Jacksonville's police union president, Steve Zona.
What's your reaction to this?
It was as innocent as can be. There was no politics involved, no us versus them. It was simply to honor a great man and allow his kids in the football team to honor him. And they've taken this, hijacked it, and called it racism.
Zona shared his feelings on Facebook, getting hundreds of comments.
The community is rallying around them and trying to support their right to honor Andy how they want to.
We're dealing with it as it comes. We'll still pay our respects to Andy.
Lorie Lavender says she just wants her son to follow his heart in honor of his dad.
I mean, guys, this is ridiculous. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Apparently, you can use racism for anything, right? Everything is racist. Apparently, the police are racist. The football team is racist. This football team has black people on the team, right? And I'm pretty sure that before they did this, this was a team decision. They flew this flag all last year and has become a part of the team tradition, which is to honor Andy Lavender, who died unexpectedly. A police officer who was well respected in the community. And they're doing this because his son is on the football team and he wants to honor his dad. And Andy Lavender was a police officer. He also was a community contributor. He helped coach up some players on a Pot Warner football team, and just all around good dude, right? And very well respected. And this is why they chose to do it. He wasn't some type of racist. It's a shame that his son has to now deal with the political ramifications of trying to honor his father. Honoring your deceased father has become political to these people, right? And now people are probably accusing this child of being racist, and it doesn't make sense. You cannot use racism to try to ban anything that you don't agree with. That's weak. That is weak. And that's what these people do. Anytime they don't agree with something, right? Anytime they want to ban you or silence you, the first thing they try to do is accuse you of racism. This ain't got nothing to do with racism. The police in and of themselves are not inherently racist. Again, this is not in line with the liberal ideology being promoted by Black Lives Matter and all these other groups out here that want you to think that police are racist. There are black police officers, guys. There's Hispanic police officers. There's Asian police officers. The police are not racist. I don't understand how you come to that conclusion. All this kid wanted to do was honor his dad, and that's taken away from him. You've taken that away from him. That's all he wanted to do, because you think that the thin blue line flag is somehow racist, when the thin blue line is just a representation of how police separate good and evil from peace and anarchy. The police come in between that. They help protect the communities. And because of that, that's why more black people should be pro-police. You should have more black people flying the thin blue line flag. Why? Because you want to create a good repertoire with the police, right? I mean, again, this stuff is about strategy, folks. This is about strategy. When you actively try to fight the police, when you actively try to bring down the police, you're doing nothing but creating more resentment on both sides. You're creating resentment between the people who interact with the police and the police themselves. As the people who interact with police think that police are inherently bad and racist, they're going to become more hostile and volatile towards the police. And if people becoming more hostile and volatile towards the police, then the police are going to become more trigger happy, which is going to end up in a bad situation where we're going to have more young people dead at the hands of the police, guys. But again, people don't think. They don't use their brains. They think with their emotions, not their logic. When you're trying to fight so-called systemic racism from the police or improve police community relations, you have to think about, what can I do to improve that? Where you can start is stop accusing police of being racist. That's the first thing you can start. Nobody likes being accused of being racist for things that they have nothing to do with. Throw out that racism card, right? You should start supporting your police. Start doing ride-alongs with your police. Learn about their jobs. You need to promote police as good people in our communities. You know why? Because then that will allow more people in our communities, young black men, or whoever, right? People in poverty, to want to become police officers. A police officer is a stable career, guys. You know, you get good benefits, you get decent pay. You know, I mean, they should be paid more, but you know, it is what it is. It's decent. It's a way to a middle class lifestyle. You should want more young black men to become police, because then they can police their own communities, right? And when they can police their own communities, right, they may be able to understand the citizens that live in that community more. But that's not going to happen if people hate the police. If you hate the police, you're not going to want to become the police. Again, this stuff is about strategy, and this is why leadership matters. We have the worst leadership because our leadership is going out here telling people police are racist, which is working against us. Also, these leaders, these administrators, are all kowtowing and folding at the hands of these SJWs. Just because a bunch of SJWs go out here and call the flag racist doesn't mean it's racist. Doesn't mean you have to ban it. You ruined something that was sacred to this football team. Again, black and white players on the team, and probably other races. I'm pretty sure they all came together and discussed what this, you know, what they're doing and what it actually means to them, right? And if you don't like it, then just don't watch it. It's simple stuff. But then people might come out comment section and be like, well, you said with the pro athletes and them kneeling for the national anthem that, you know, they try to do a peaceful protest and it's about this. And it's like, bruh, like I said, if you don't want to see it, then you don't have to watch it. But at the same time, these athletes are living in a country where you're allowed to pay millions of dollars to play a game. So you should honor and respect a flag and an anthem that allows you to do that, because there's no other place on earth where you're going to get treated better than that. It doesn't mean we shouldn't strive for improvement, but you're actively working against your best interest when you actively disrespect a country and a flag and an anthem that a lot of people hold sacred. And what happens is that if those people stop watching, then those athletes are no longer going to be able to create the change that they say they want to see in their communities, because they're going to get paid less. Again, it's all about strategy, guys. There's some battles that are worth fighting and there's some battles that are not worth fighting. You should not be kneeling for the national anthem. You should show respect for this country. You should not be out here banning people from showing respect and support for the police, because you should want to support the police. Because the police are there to protect your communities. Like I said before in prior videos, if you have a high police presence in your community where the neighborhoods are going to be protected, that creates an environment where it's safe for businesses to operate in those communities. And that's what's going to bring jobs and opportunity to those communities. You can't bring jobs and opportunities to a community that is not protected, because business owners don't know whether or not their stores are going to be vandalized and their assets are going to be endangered. Something that they've worked hard over their whole lives to build can be ruined, as we've seen with these protests, from a lack of protection in the community. This stuff is simple, guys. Nobody can operate a business in an environment where there's not police. And obviously you should protect yourself first. I have to keep saying this because people don't get it. Strategy. What battles are worth fighting and what battles are not worth fighting, right? Fighting against the police is not worth it. What you should really try to do, you should really try to honor the police, and you try to join the police force, become police officers so you can police your own communities. If your beef is with how the police are policing you in your community, then join it, become a police officer. That way you can, again, affect the change that you want to see. And telling young black men and telling young people in general to be afraid of the police is in direct opposition to what your stated goal is. I'm sick and tired of people running around here saying it's okay to honor Black Lives Matter, to honor criminals, to put people's names on their helmets and to represent people who took from these communities, who were negative influences on society, who've done nothing to help their communities. But it's racist to honor people who've helped their communities and have given back to the society. David Dorn gets nothing. Andy Lavender, he gets nothing. These are people that contributed positively to the community. These are people that are role models that you want your sons to grow up and be like. But instead, you're making our role models Cardi B and Jacob Blake and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Those are the people you guys are trying to paint as role models in society. We have to learn how to promote people who are positive images in society so we can enact cultural change. Cultural change is what needs to happen. We can no longer continue to fight against the police. Oh, the police are anti-black. We can't have that anymore. We can't, because it's not working. It has not worked and it will not work. It won't work. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Maybe you guys should try something different. Let's get rid of honoring these criminals, because it ain't working. It ain't working. Only thing is, it's just showing people that if I go out here and I commit a crime and I happen to be killed by a white person or, you know, a cop, then I'm going to be honored. I'm going to live in history. And that's not a good incentive, guys. We're not teaching our kids the right things. But anyways, you know, this situation right here is very disappointing. I think the administrators who are responsible for banning this flag being displayed, I think they're irresponsible. I think they need to be held accountable. But, you know, this is the society that we live in, folks. It's okay to honor Black Lives Matter and criminals, but it's not for anybody that contributes positively to society. So let me know what you guys think about this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.